self-subsistent materiality of classical physics. It depends on what is self-subsistent materiality. By self-subsistent, what I understand is that matter exists on its own. It doesn't depend on anything beyond itself. No, I don't think Einstein reject this, if this is something, because by self-subsistent, for example, I mean if you have a chair itself is self-subsistent, obviously always relative, this self-subsistent. But the color of chair is the color of chair is not self. Color of chair can't exist without chair. Or Soviet. That's what I mean. So in that sense, the color is not self-subsistent, but chair itself is subsistent. So, for example, wood is self-subsistent. So that's why you can change the color without changing the chair, but chair can exist without a particular color. But a particular color cannot exist without chair. I mean, it can exist without chair, but it would have to exist in something else which is self-subsistent. So if he's talking in that sense, self-subsistent, Einstein, I doubted that Einstein would deny the self-subsistence nature of matter in that sense. Of course, he believes that matter and energy has some sort of equivalence, although Einstein didn't prove that equivalence, but he proposed that in his famous MC square. So, energy and mass, at least if you believe in the symmetry of law, energy can be converted into matter in principle, and matter can be converted into energy. So in a sense, so if he means by self-subsistence in this way, you can say that, but I don't know what follows from that, because, and I don't even know whether classical physics rejected the idea that energy is convertible into matter. So obviously Einstein wasn't the first to find out the relationship between energy and matter. There were people before him who suggested that as well, the relationship between energy. But Einstein was obviously the first to propose the actual equation or equivalence, even though he didn't prove the equation itself. It sort of follows from his theory of special theory of relativity. So what Einstein's equation suggests or proves, I guess, is that energy and mass are different forms of the same thing. In a way, in a similar sense in which matter is solid, liquid, or gas. Different forms of matter. But that doesn't mean the existence of gas, for example, doesn't mean that matter is not self-subsistent. And in a way, energy is something similar to gas in a more colloquial sense. So just because matter has different forms doesn't mean that matter has gone away. It's a bit similar to those people who think that, like, even aromatically, I mean, people who think that light is, for example, something immaterial. Uh, I mean, light is something unique, but it's not immaterial in any meaningful sense. In the similar way, energy is not immaterial because it's a form of matter. In the same way in which matter is a form of energy, a condensed energy, you can say. So the only thing it proves is that matter has variable forms. It has different forms, and by form I don't I mean shapes or form in the Aristotelian uh, content form distinction, but form in the different shapes. Let's say different um, way in which thing is um, articulated or uh, exists or appears. So if Iqbal is trying to say that with relativity we are at the doorstep of some sort of anti-materialism, then that's wrong. And we should remember one of his main motivation going through these theories, especially Einstein theory of relativity and quantum physics, is he thinks that there's some sort of a revolt against matter within physics. So he thought classical physics was materialist. So that was against religion and everything, because causal mechanistic laws can't have room for freedom, and if there is no freedom, then there is no God, or at least not a free God, etc. And there's no morality, etc. But that doesn't seem to be true, because Newton was a very religious man, one of the founders of modern physics. You can always reconcile classical materialism of classical physics with a religious position. And the second thing is, Einstein is now an anti-materialist in any meaningful sense, because he believed in a universe governed by natural laws. In the same way, even in the same way in which classical physics believes that universe is um, run by natural laws, and the only difference is for Einstein, some natural laws work in way different than anticipated in classical physics. Not that they are not natural laws. Yeah, so while Iqbal sort of sees Einstein's theories and quantum physics as harbinger of some sort of spiritualism or mysticism, it's no such thing, especially not a spiritual, because spiritual based on the concept of soul and its relationship between with the creator, etc., which is absent from classical physics, as well as the Einstein theory of relativity, although it can be reconciled with that, but that is not the function of the theory itself. You have to do it outside the theory, or outside the discipline of physics, at the level of philosophy or at the level of religion, etc. Okay. After that, Iqbal goes on to say that it is, however, necessary to guard against. So that's sort of a different